Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are well. My name is Joya. Thank you for being here. Wow, another year, 2026. We made it. God has brought us over and we here. So 2026, this is the year to get what you need to get out of life. Like it's time for making excuses. It's time out for just being barely over broke. It's time out for paycheck to paycheck. It's time out for the back and forth. It's just time out. Like it's time to get serious about things. And first step is to understand what you want to happen in 2026. Write down what it is you want to happen. Whether, and this could be goals or it could just be, just like little notes. You can do goals where we talk about SMART goals. We talked about this last year. Make sure they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and there's a time frame on it. Or you can just write down, I would like to, have better finances. But if it's going to be a goal, you need to make sure you write it down, specific goals. So I want to have 2,000 in my savings account by the end of July 2026. Like stuff like that. You got to be very specific if you're going to write goals down. But I want to talk about finances. I think it's important. I am by no way, shape, or form a financial advisor. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is just my personal life. So do with that what you will. But I think it's important to make sure, for one, that you have income that's coming in, whether it be from a job and or self-employment or self-employment alone, whatever it is, try to have income coming in. And the way the world is in the economy is just minimum wage is unfortunately not going to cut it if you are a adult living on your own. Like I just don't see how it's going to work. So if you are somebody that, say you have a job, but you're making way less than you should be making, but your job offers things such as tuition reimbursement or tuition assistance, you should be signing up for that. Like you should be in somebody's school, in somebody program, college, tech, college, university, whatever. You need to be in somebody's school getting that degree, diploma, certificate. Because the way the world is now, you're going to need money to live. Like it's already bad in 2026. So I can't imagine the cost of living in 2028 and beyond. So focus on getting more income, however that may be. So it could be through a job, or it could be through, like I said, maybe you start your own business, side company. Maybe you like to bake and you finally decide this year, I'm going to take it serious and start selling baked goods and create an LLC. Like whatever it is, you need to find some way to get more money. And if you have the ability to, if somebody will pay for you to go to school or go whatever, do that. Like I know a lot of people say college is not for them, and that may be true, right? But you can get some type of certificate at some type of tech college. Well, I guess if it's still college, but you get my point. Like take a class, even if it's a 3-day class, like take something online and get a certificate for cybersecurity, like data analyst. Like do something that's going to help build skills to where those can be transferable into something else later down the line. Also for me, I have a few accounts. I have 2 regular checking accounts. These are with 2 different banks. And then with my regular checking account, I have a regular savings, or it's called basically as I spend money from my checking, it automatically goes into my savings. But that does not earn me a lot of interest, like a cent a month. I kid you not, a cent a month. That's what I earned last month from that account. Okay. That's why I don't keep a lot of I don't keep much in there at all. About a year and a half ago, I created a high yield savings account. You need to have a high yield savings account. Okay. If you don't have one, you need to have one. You can go with several companies. Personally, I have 2 high yield savings. I have one through Ally and I have one through Capital One. I created the one through Capital One because, well, I'll start with Ally. I created the one through Ally because my car is financed through Ally, so it just made sense. And then the second one, I had a credit card. I have a credit card through Capital One, so I just decided to go ahead and get a high yield savings there, just because I believe in diversifying your money. I don't think your money should be in one bank. For a long time, up until like a year-ish ago, all my money was in one bank, and that particular savings account was earning me a cent a month, no matter how much I had in there. So yeah, decided to do my research and get a high yield savings. So you need to get a high yield savings. There's so many. I just pulled up some. Don't know if you guys can see it. Oh snap! But I mean, it's just so many. Like American Express, SoFi. You know, I have, like I said, have Ally, ALLY. You can do Capital One. Pretty much for the most part, they're all going to be the same APY. Just because that's just what the market is. But when I first opened mine, like the APY was pretty high, but it has dropped. So that's what you got to understand. As the market goes up and down, so does the APY. So, but pretty much they're all going to be around the same. Like I think Charles Schwab might have one. So whatever works for you, whichever one you feel like is best. Like maybe if you have an Amex already, American Express card, maybe just go and get a American Express high yield savings. Yeah. So I like Ally because with Ally, you have something called buckets. And so it has like different categories. So you can put your money in different buckets. Like for, say you want to save for retirement, or you want to save for like a wedding or a vacation or sinking funds or things like that. You can put that money in the bucket. So say if you have 5,000 in your high yield savings, right? That's your total. If I want to put 1,000 in vacation, I can move that 1,000 to the bucket of vacation. If I want to put 1,000 for my wedding, I can put 1,000 and move it to that bucket. You know, that way you kind of know, all right, if we get married in 2027 and we have this money, we right now in our bucket for our wedding, we have 3,000 and we still need 15 more. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of keep track that way. Personally, me, I have not used the buckets because I really only save for two things. I save for a rainy day and I save for vacation. That's it. I have no, I'm not getting married anytime soon. I'm not, you know, like, I'm just not. So, yeah. You also need a retirement fund. Most people get these through their job. So I have a retirement fund. I have one through my old job that I left recently. So it's with Corebridge Financial, but it was like something that you couldn't opt out of. So, and looking back, like I'm glad that it was not optional because honestly, it was based on a 7.5 contribution of your gross income. And when I tell you, like I made decent money, so it was hundreds of dollars coming out every two. Like I'm not gonna say the number, but it was a lot. It was a lot coming out every 2 weeks. But obviously that just depends on how much you work. So when I stopped working 80 hours per pay period, and I started working a little less, it kind of went down. But still, it's still a decent amount that I would love to have in my back pocket, like to use for vacation or whatever. But I'm glad that honestly it's in a retirement fund. It's tucked away. Since I left the job, I just have access to it. I can pull it out, but because it's a retirement fund, if you pull it out before 50 something, don't quote me on it, I think it's like 59 and a half or something like that. Before age 59 and a half, you're going to get probably taxed. So obviously I don't really have plans to pull it out. Like I would literally have to be in dire need of this money to pull it out. So I'm just going to let it sit in this particular account. But my plan is to move it on to another one. I have a 401A with my old job. So I have a decent amount in there. And then I plan like very soon over the next few weeks to open a Roth IRA. With the Roth IRA, this is also a retirement fund. You can invest, you can put money in. So it works like this from what I understand. This is all my understanding. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. Do your research. My understanding is that with the Roth, essentially it's not like tied to a job. So like it's on your own. So it's not like a 401k or a 401a like I have. Let me just pull up the definition so I can tell you guys verbatim. So a Roth individual retirement account or a Roth IRA is an investment account that is designed to help you save for retirement and reduce your taxes later in life when you may be in a higher tax bracket than you are now. So you contribute money that's already been taxed as opposed to a traditional IRA where you put in pre-tax money. So your contributions and earnings in a Roth IRA grow tax-free. Talks about withdrawals. You can withdraw your contributions at any time tax-free. You can withdraw your earnings which is the money you made from the investments, without paying taxes, as long as you're 59 and a half years old and made your first contribution at least 5 years ago. So a Roth IRA may be for you if you think you'll be in a higher tax bracket later in life, or want the ability for your money to grow tax-free. So yeah. Like I said, it's not tied to a job. So that's the one thing. It's like you put in what you want to put in. And so with the Roth IRA, there's a limit on how much you can contribute per year. And so it's the time frame is not based on like a calendar year. From what I hear, it's based on like when you file taxes. So technically, as of today, which is January 7th, 2026, I can open a Roth IRA and contribute the max for 2025, even though we're in another year, because I have not filed taxes yet. And so for 2025, if I wanted to open up one right now, the Roth IRA contribution limit for 2025 is $7,000, or it's $8,000 if you're 50 plus. So for me, it would be $7,000 for 2025. For 2026, it actually increased. So after I file taxes, then I'll be contributing for 2026, and that increased to $7,500, and then $8,600 if I'm over 50. So yeah, you just kind of got to be careful. Like if you make too much money, you probably won't qualify for a Roth. So you just kind of have to look at the income requirements. So yeah, I know, and that's like it's like a high amount. So it's like most people are going to qualify for a Roth just with the way society is. Most people are going to qualify for a Roth just because nobody's making hundreds of thousands of dollars for the most part. But yeah, so that's a Roth. I plan to open one. I'm probably going to open it with Charles Schwab, but there's so many different kinds of banks that you can open it with. But yeah, Charles is probably going to be, you can do Fidelity. What else? I guess Chase Bank has one. Vanguard. So you can just type in best Roth IRA accounts and just kind of do your research and look it up. Robinhood, SoFi. SoFi's an online bank though, so just, think about that. But yeah, so that's my plan. And then moving on to life insurance. This is very important. I have a policy now through the job I started, but it's contract based. So when that ends, that life insurance is going to be gone. And the good thing about it is though that I don't have to pay extra for it. Like my company actually provides it free of cost, which I love. So I get like $50,000 free of cost. So I really, appreciate that. But life insurance, you should get that outside of a job. So that's what I'm working on now. I got a quote the other day for some, and I'm like not too happy about it. That's why I haven't filled out the application yet. I think I might shop around a little bit more, but we'll see. But it's just because certain health issues and certain things like that can contribute to a higher rate. So my point, if you are in great health, you're young, this is the time. I'm only 29 and I'm already thinking about life insurance. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't got no kids. I don't really feel like I'm about to pass away anytime soon, but life is unsure. And what really honestly made me kick this into gear and think about life insurance, I've always thought about it for like the last year, but I just been kind of like, because I've always had it like through my job, like my job that ended, I had it through them I was there for like almost 2 years. So it's like I had something, but I just think about it like you leave a job, whatever, and it ends. And during that time period between you start a new job and that time period of the other one ending, what are you going to do for life insurance if something happens during that time? Like, you just never know. Can't predict it. So it's important to have life insurance outside of that. And what really made me think about it is the young man that died. I don't want to say his name wrong, but he was on TikTok. His mom is pretty popular on TikTok too. I didn't know he was on TikTok. Like, I never followed him, but I follow his mom. And she cooks on TikTok and all this kind of stuff. So if you know what I'm talking about. And some issue with their life insurance situation, I don't think the dad had him on there. I think he forgot. He thought he had his son on there, but he didn't. So they were like asking people to raise money for like a GoFundMe. And people are like, listen, y'all got millions of followers on TikTok and y'all buying all these cars and all this stuff. Like, why y'all asking us for money? And it just made me think I don't want to put people I love or care about in that situation. Because it's like, from the outside looking in, y'all can afford it. You know, it's like, why y'all asking us for money? You know what I mean? Like, and I think sometimes people don't understand that having millions of followers on social media doesn't always equate to money. But you also have to think about the perception of everything. So it's like, if you're buying new cars and buying houses and buying all these things and have all of this, when time comes where something happens in your life and you looking at the general public for money, like, they're gonna be looking at you like, nah, I'm not giving you no money, bro. So it just really made me think about that. So I plan to lock in and get some life insurance outside of my job very, very, very soon. But the younger and the more healthier you are, the cheapest it's gonna be. So I personally went through Xander, Z as in zebra, ANDER. This is something, how do I put it, stamped by Dave Ramsey. So, you know, if you know who Dave Ramsey is, then you know he's like a financial guru man. And yeah, so with the Xander insurance, if you guys can see it, Xander, you can do a quote and it'll pull up several different companies. So you can do the coverage amount. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but you can do the coverage amount and then you can do the term. So this is only for term life. So difference between term and whole, think of it like this. Term life is for specified term. So 15 years, 20 years. After that, from what I researched, once again, not financial advice, look it up. But from what I researched, you can either renew, like get another policy. You can renew it. You can get, you know, different policy, something like that. So yeah, but it's only for a specified time period. And then whole life is for the duration, you know, obviously of your life. But whole life can have like what they call a cash benefit. But I think to start out, everything I've looked at, it's just easy and quick to get term life. And yeah, so Dave, based on Xander and Dave's recommendation, you should get coverage that's at least 10 to 12 times your annual salary. So just throw a number out, just make it easier. If I make $50,000 a year, 50 times 10, if I want to go to minimum, or 50 times 12, 50,000 times that. That's what my coverage should be, right? So say I just want, you know, I make a little more. So say I want to do $1 million in coverage. You'll just put coverage for $1 million and then the term. So Dave recommends 15 or 20 years that you plan to lock in rates. So say I want to do, just go ahead and do 15. You can do 10 too, but it's just his recommendation to do 15 to 20 years. But obviously the younger you are, typically the longer you want to do it for. I personally just did it for 15 just because who knows where I'm going to be in 15 years. I mean, you know, so I don't want to do 20 years because I don't know where I'm going to be. But you can do 20, 25, 30, just whatever. So let's just say for the sake of this, we do 15. And then it'll just ask you like to put in demographics. So date of birth, health, sex, all of that. So on Xander, it has preferred plus, preferred, standard plus, and standard. These are related to health conditions, like your overall health. And you can like tap on it and read exactly what preferred plus means, what preferred is. So when I did this, I tapped in preferred plus, but when I talked to the agent, when he called me, I actually fit into the preferred category because of some health situations. But if you're in great bill of health, preferred plus, you know, probably is good. Like you're not on any medications, you don't have any serious health conditions, stuff like that. But you know, the further you go down, like standard plus, the more expensive it's going to be. So when I did preferred plus, I had got a great quote. I was like, oh yeah, I think it might have been like $17, $18, something like that, for a $1 million policy, $1 million policy for 15 years. I was like, oh yeah. So here I am thinking like when a man called me, that's what it's going to be. And he quoted me a different price. And I'm like, huh? So I'm going to shop around personally. But I have a feeling that I'll probably be the going rate. So it just is what it is. Because I just wanted more coverage based on my income. So anyways, yeah. So that's life insurance. Like I said, you can, just type in life insurance quotes, and I'm sure you're going to find 10, 15 websites. You just click on whatever, and they'll probably pull up different kinds. I just went through Xander, but like I said, I'm going to shop around just because I want to. And the quote they gave me is for a company, I can't remember the name, Pacific Life. So, but yeah, life insurance. What else is important? So I can think of, we talked about savings, we talked about life insurance, we talked about retirement, talked about earning more income. I think that's all I wanted to touch on, I think. So I want you to get a notebook or get your phone. Some people like their phone, or you get your iPad like me, and write down your financial goals for 2026. So you may not be in a place where, you can think about a $1 million policy, whatever. But get you something. Like, just get 50,000, 20,000. That way, we don't have to be doing fish fries for you when you pass away. You know what I mean? Like I'm already personally thinking about like a will and all of that. And I have no kids. It would literally go to my mom, my sister. Like, they're my beneficiaries for pretty much everything. And I'm just thinking, like, if, God forbid, whatever happens to me before my time, or before I feel like I should be off this earth, they can have it all. Like, whatever's in my accounts, like, they can have whatever life insurance, whatever in the retirement, like, give it to them. But we just have to be better prepared. So especially if you're older, like I've been telling my mom, like, please, let's get with a lawyer and sit down and write a will and all of that, because I want to avoid probate court. If you don't know what probate court is, look it up. Essentially, when somebody passes, certain things have to go through probate. It could be like, say your dad died, but he had a house. If you're not in that will to get that house, it's gonna have to go through the court system, and you may not get it. You know what I mean? It may end up going to somebody else because of the legality of everything. So same thing with, any type of assets or anything like that, bank accounts, all of that. So just, try to, especially if you're older, try to get a will, trust, all of that in order to alleviate probate courts and family fighting, at the funeral, like, nah, this is my house. Mama left it to me. Mama, listen, your mama said in the will, you get this house. She said the son get the car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's plan. I know people don't want to talk about death, but death is real. It is what it is. And if I personally had kids, I would definitely have a will, because I don't want any issues to be happening when I'm 6 feet under the ground. Like, I want people to know who the house go to, who this money go to, who that go to. We ain't got no stress. All right, you got 30,000, or not 30,000, but you got 10,000, 15,000 to cover the funeral, bury me, and let's move on. Like, we ain't got to be raising 5. We ain't got to be doing 5 fish fries. We don't have to be begging everybody online. Like, I don't want all that. Like, let's be proactive. So, anywho, write down your goals, financial goals, what you want to accomplish this year in 2026, how you're going to accomplish them. So if that means, say I want to increase my income, right? That's my goal. I want to increase my income by 10% by December 31st, 2026. That's your goal. I'm going to do that by, this is what you write underneath that. I'm going to do that by applying for, applying for the bachelor's program in social work at the University of South Florida for a entrance date of May 2025, something like that. Like, I'm going to complete this, like things like that. Like, be specific, and you'll be surprised at how much you accomplish at the end of the year. And review those at least like monthly, or at least quarterly, and just see like, okay, am I on the right track? Did I actually enroll in this program? Did I not? Why did I not enroll? What can I do to enroll? Like, review, read, and you can accomplish it. So that's all I have. As always, y'all, stay grateful, stay faithful, stay consistent. Peace.